What's up, YouTube? We back with another reaction video today. We're gonna be reacting to the story of BTB Savage. I kind of know a little bit about the story already, but I'm just sharing this with y'all just in case y'all didn't hear about it yet for some reason. It's a real big story, so let's go ahead and get into it.
A rapper from San Antonio, Texas, named BTB Savage killed someone and dissed him on social media. Then, just hours after the post, he was shot and killed in revenge.
Something serious, huh? Hours after he dissed somebody else on social media, he got picked off. That's why, if y'all ain't noticed, people who do the most woofing on the internet, they be the ones. I ain't gonna say all of them, but most of them be getting touched a lot because they do too much talking on the internet and stuff like that and fronting their move and shit. The people who quiet and don't be on the internet, them the ones you need to be worried about. Them the ones who, yeah. What's understood don't need to be explained.
He made headlines last week for telling DJ Vlad how the shooting went down, and now he's in the spotlight after tragically losing his own life. So today, we're breaking down exactly what happened in this wild story. Let's get right into it. On March 30th, headlines in Houston broke that a man had been shot to death in his vehicle around 6 p.m. Before anyone knew that BTB Savage was the victim, the cops had already figured out that it was a targeted shooting because of how many bullet shells they found at the scene. According to reports, Savage was in his white Mercedes in a good part of town called River Oaks, and the whip was filled with bullet holes.
Golly, y'all seen that? They tore that mug up. Hold on.
In Savage's apartment, with a 34-year-old rapper pulled up to his apartment with a car full of dudes. Black TV to air out by Savage, but they'd run into each other at shows.
How the fuck we got this far? Okay, here we go.
Or if he even shot back.
Hold on, gang. Alright, here we go.
And the whip.
Look at all them bullet holes. Golly. He made somebody mad.
Was filled with bullet holes. Two shooters pulled up and boxed him in. Then they started letting off shots. It's not clear how many times Savage was hit or if he even shot back. But by the time help arrived at the scene, it was already too late. Savage getting gunned down in the middle of a nice neighborhood like that was shocking. But then the story got even crazier. Come to find out, a few hours before he was murdered, BTB Savage posted a couple of selfies.
Look at that. So this is what upset everybody, the people who killed him, I'm pretty sure. That's what upset him. I'm gonna let him do the explaining though. Y'all gonna see what this picture is. It's a picture, what it's a picture of. And I seen the picture, the uncensored picture. It was something serious.
BTB Savage posted a couple of selfies on Twitter, standing in a pool of dried blood. And just a warning, the images are pretty graphic. Savage was trolling a dude who was killed in his apartment a couple of months ago. And last week, he went on Vlad TV to air out how everything happened. According to Savage, a local rapper had been trying to get a feature from him for a while. They didn't really know each other, but they'd run into each other at shows and around town sometimes. One night, a couple months ago, the dude got in touch with Savage and he finally agreed to do a feature. And later that night, the other rapper pulled up to his apartment with a car full of dudes. The rapper came into Savage's apartment with a 34-year-old named Omar Richardson. Savage said he felt kind of weird because both of them was looking around the spot when they walked in. But then Richardson flashed some bread and Savage thought it was all good. The dudes came in with a box full of studio equipment so they could set up and record. But then the other rapper said he was missing a few things and Omar told him to go back to the whip and grab what he needed. Savage thought something was off, so he locked the door when the rapper went outside. And that's when everything went left. Omar started asking Savage about his jewelry and who he got his pieces from. And when Savage reached down to show his chain, Omar upped his strap and told Savage to hand everything over. At first, Savage told him he wasn't giving it up. But after Omar said he'd shoot him and his girl too, Savage started taking the chains off. When Omar first pulled out the gun, Savage was too far away to make a move. But when Omar reached to grab Savage's chain, he saw an opportunity and moved quick. Savage wrapped Omar up in his arms and fell to the ground, and they started wrestling. Omar's gun fell out of his hand, and Savage had his arms.
Another robbery gone wrong. The dude pull a gun on him, trying to get him to take his chains off. And then he let the dude get so close up on him when he was reaching for the chains that the dude ended up grabbing him and grabbing his arms and tying him up, and then fell to the ground with him. You got a whole gun and you done let this go down. Man, you rob somebody like that, tell them to toss it over to you or something. They should not be nowhere close to where they could grab your gun unless you tell them to turn it. Only way they should be in your vicinity, in your area, I can't say that vicinity. You should tell them to turn around or something, you know. Think sometimes, basically. People got to think sometimes, man. Tell them to turn around. That way, at least you got more of the advantage. You know, somebody got a gun to the back of your head. I know I'm not finna try to hurry up and turn around and do no kung fu shit or nothing, so you got to think sometimes.
Was wrapped up, and that's when Savage yelled for his girl to come shoot him. She came in and popped him in the back twice, but that ain't slow him down. Omar managed to get his hand on one of his guns and let 3 shots off at Savage's girl, but luckily every shot missed and Savage got him back under control. He told Omar his son was in there and he just needed to leave, but instead of ducking out and getting himself to the hospital, Omar told Savage he was gonna kill him and kept fighting. Omar yelled at his homies to shoot through the door, and they let off 2 shots and missed everyone. Savage told his girl to shoot back, but then 20 more shots flew into the apartment from the front door. When they stopped shooting, Savage's girl popped back at him with 2 shots, and that's when Omar's homies left him to die. Savage and Omar kept fighting, while Savage's girl tried to get a clean shot on him. She fired again, but the bullet hit Savage right in his elbow and shattered it. His bone was poking through the skin, and he couldn't even hold his arm up. But he got his body out of the way, and his girl shot Omar one more time in the torso. Savage tried to get him to leave again, but Omar said he wasn't going without getting something. He was crawling on the floor with a gun in his hand right next to Savage's son's room, and that's when Savage jumped on him. He put his finger over Omar's and let off all the rounds left in the magazine. When Omar realized he was out of ammo, he started telling Savage he had kids too and asked him not to let him die. But Savage had no sympathy for him and said, "I hope you die." Savage and his girl went in to grab his son. Then Savage went back out to make sure everything was clear before they left. Omar crawled to the front door and grabbed Savage's foot when he walked by and begged him to take him to the hospital. Savage told him,
"Your ass about to fry right here, and if they come save you, then they come save you. If not, then your ass toast you."
After that, Savage called his homie and was rushed to the hospital.
I wouldn't even left him there. I would have just faced him right there before I even left. Like, I would have made sure it was dead. Straight up. You come in my shit trying to rob me, so you asking for it. You already know how it could have went. So I see you on the other side, buddy.
He passed out in the car, and when he woke up in the hospital bed, the cops were waiting there to talk with him. After Savage and his girl explained the situation, the cops classified it as self-defense, and neither of them were charged. Omar died at the scene, and Savage told the cops he was happy about it. In his interview with Vlad, he admitted
that shit gave me bad PTSD for sure.
But Omar put his son's life in danger, so Savage had no choice. It was a crazy situation, and the Vlad TV interview immediately blew up, hitting almost 2 million views in less than a week. And Savage's ops obviously wasn't happy about it. Vlad asked Savage,
I mean, are you at all concerned that his people are gonna try to come back?
They for sure might do. They might do what they do. But I'm gonna get active, that's all it is.
Unfortunately, it ain't take long for the get back, and some people are blaming the interview for his tragic death. Benzino's been on Vlad TV before, but after the news broke about Savage's death, he tweeted, "I ain't never going on that shit again. The culture is already killing each other at such a high rate that we don't need."
Y'all gotta stop blaming Vlad for this kind of stuff. I ain't lying. Not trying to take up for him or nothing like that, but if people don't want to do an interview about certain things, then they shouldn't do it. It's not Vlad's fault that they want to come do an interview about those topics. Vlad has said many times that he always let people know what he plan on talking about, and if they're not okay with it, then they don't have to talk about it. So,
be instigators by an outsider. Plus, Savage's ops clowned him over the interview after he died, which led to more people blaming Vlad. Even though the interview put the situation in the spotlight, at the end of the day, Savage already had real beef in the streets with whoever killed him. And that beef still would have existed even if he never told Vlad about Omar's death. Savage had already moved out of the apartment where Omar died, but he went back just to take a picture in his blood and flex on his ops. Him and his girl had every right to defend themselves that night Omar tried to rob him. But dissing people's dead homies on the internet like that will always put a bigger target on your back. It's just an all-around tragedy. And the rap game has lost another talented artist too soon. BTB Savage never hit the mainstream, but he was working hard the last few years and definitely could have made a name for himself in the industry, especially with the extra exposure from his Vlad TV interview. Savage ain't come up like most rappers. He actually joined the army and was stationed in South Korea, and that's where he went to a trade school and learned how to code. According to reports, he got caught up in a massive fraud scheme that was allegedly over $1 million. And that's when he got kicked out of Korea and decided to hop in the booth. He tragically left behind a 4-year-old son who will have to grow up without his dad around. And Savage said that his son was the only thing that kept him going. BTB Savage was hustling hard to make it in the industry and provide for his family, but the streets caught up to him before he could hit the mainstream. Rest in peace to BTB Savage.
Watch cable-free live TV with no hidden fees.
They always trying to sneak an ad in on me, y'all. But yeah, that was the story of BTB Savage. I want y'all to comment below what y'all think about this story, you know. And I appreciate y'all for checking in with me. And I'm going to see y'all on the next video.